Jordan Peterson, like misgendered Elliot Page. Now, here's where I'm actually, like, when it comes to the gender shit, I don't care. I think it's oversensitive. I think it's fucked up. Like, all that shit, sure.
I will say this. I will say this before we get into this with this, okay? What? When it comes to, like, the misgendering thing, you have to kind of give Jordan Peterson just room to really go nuts about it, because this is, one, how he rose to predominance.
Yeah.
And two, this almost cost him his livelihood, so he's never, ever, ever going to let it go.
Right, but I feel like with Jordan Peterson, and I understand that, absolutely, but I feel like Jordan has become a paranoid guy with a machine gun, and he's shooting people who aren't coming after him. Like, for example...
Well, I feel like that's just your opinion, bucko.
We were doing a bit yesterday about the woman who's going to get a ship and make it an abortion ship so people can get around the abortion laws. And somebody
like a riverboat casino, but for abortions.
It's a riverboat abortion. Yeah. Well, somebody did a Jordan Peterson impression in the comments section. It stuck with me all day.
Snake yesterday. Eyes. God damn it. Vacuum out that fetus.
He did a line that stuck with me all day. It was, clean your womb, bucko. I had whoever that was who said that. I just want to let you know, I had clean your womb, bucko in my head all fucking
The first
day.
thing you got to do is you got to vacuum out these lobster babies, bucko.
They're going to make them look like lobsters when we're done. So my thing about Jordan Peterson is, great example here is the what's her name? Elliot Page thing. Or I'm sorry. What's his name? The Elliot Page thing. Elliot Page isn't doing him any harm. Elliot Page didn't say anything about Jordan Peterson, never attacked him, nothing. And one day on Twitter, he just goes off. He's like, her doctor's a criminal and she's not a man. And it's and then he used the name Ellen Page and everything else. And it's like, with Jordan, he has lost it because I do give him that benefit of the doubt, and he always blows right past that. It's like, dude.
Well, and like, dead naming is just a prick move anyways. I don't care what you think of trans people. Like, it's, you know what it is, like, with the dead names and the new names? It's if somebody tells you they have a nickname and you refuse to use it. That's what you're doing. Like, you're just being a dick. And it's fine to be a dick to somebody you don't like, I guess. But, like, you know, if you have a friend named Matthew and he's like, I fucking hate Matthew, I only go by Maddie.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay, Matthew. Like, that's what you're doing. You're just being a dick for no fucking reason.
It's an asshole move. And I don't know if it's bred in insecurity, where he feels like if he uses her new name that he somehow... You know what it is? He reads the internet comments and he cares about his reputation because he was a nobody who became somebody. So he doesn't know how to internet.
It's like a weird... So it started out as like a real thing because he almost lost his job because... he wanted to scientifically say there were only 3 genders, right? Male, female, and like
intersex,
hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite, yeah.
Yeah. And when people change that, you know, it's like it's a very weird thing, but for him specifically, like, flexing against that is why we know his name. So in his mind, especially if, you know, he's full of pills and maybe the money's not rolling in like it used to be, he needs it's like Weird Al waiting for another Michael Jackson song to come out.
Or Madonna, something like that.
Right.
I mean, with him, I think he feels like if he uses that name, then he'll get a bunch of mean tweets from conservatives who go, you've sold out, Jordan. He's got to learn how to just say, hey, guys, fuck you. I'll just say what I want to say. And he's just too high. He's too high strung for this game is what it is. So he gets banned from Twitter for the Elliot Page thing. Now, first of all, not only did he dead name, which is against Twitter's rules, but he also, to me, there was a legal aspect to this. He called her doctor a criminal. You can't fucking do that. You can't just say a criminal doctor. I mean, that's actionable.
Like if you're, I don't know, if you're him, right? I don't think it is actionable. I think like Twitter will deplatform you for sure. But if
I'm sorry, I meant actionable. Yeah, I meant actionable through Twitter's rules, not like legal.
Yeah, well, because like the whole thing about it though is that, and this is where he gets really weird in just the like spectrum, is like the dude's actually a doctor,
right?
And he believes that trans is gender dysphoria, and that everybody who's engaging in that rather than treating it is in the act of malpractice.
Yeah.
So he can't absolutely say that those doctors are correct. I don't believe him. I have a different opinion of that, but he can justify that with an expertise that makes it not actionable.
So he gets banned from Twitter, and they say, hey, just delete the fucking tweet. We'll bring back your Twitter account. He makes a 15-minute long YouTube video calling everybody sons of bitches and going off. We played it on the show and just starts ripping people apart. You're like, Jordan, calm the fuck down. This is a guy who got put in like a medically induced coma in Russia and was gone for a year because he he got hooked on benzos. Yeah, I mean, lost his mind.
Wait, and benzos, dude. You're not even doing drugs from this century, you fucking weirdo.
I got
what is this, the 1970s, bucko? Actually, I was doing drugs in Canada and I had to get the benzos because I couldn't grab any Percocets, bucko.
Your Jordan Peterson veers into Dwight York a little bit.
Welcome for coming. Hope you like benzos, bucko.
So Jordan
bought some benzos the other day. Boy, do I not remember that one.
His drugs are from like another time. He's like, well, I had to go away because of my laudanum addiction.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, bucko, I haven't been around because I've been sipping mercury.
They called me the Mad Hatter. Amora.
I told them that was malpractice. It was clearly a ball cap.
Amora was.
It is getting more. Since you said that, subconsciously it's getting more Dwight York.
Yes. Amora says, as a trans person, that woman ticked me off. She does not represent me, nor does she speak for me. Yes, I'm not mentally well, but I have lived just fine as I am. Well, hey, you know what? I think people who can admit that they're not mentally well, I think that's half the battle.
I think it's like this. You can say trans people are mentally ill, but who isn't mentally ill? Like, I honestly feel like if you're not kind of mentally ill, you haven't been paying attention to the world around you.
Dude, I have those times in my life where I'll do something or I'll say something or I'll have an interaction with somebody. And I'll go, dude, that was bad. That was weird. Like, you just like, have you feel that like in your own head? You're like, that wasn't how I want to be like that.
Well, I'm not an autist like you, so not as much.
Okay. Yeah. I have those moments where I'm like, I think it's good. I like when I have those moments because I feel like it's a self-awareness moment. You're checking yourself. You're like, that's mentally ill. That was fucked up right there. That wasn't, don't do that again.
Someone said, since you're from northern Minnesota, just channel your Jordan Peterson impression. No, it's completely different because where I'm from, the Iron Range, it's all drawn out. And he has a very weird, like, city folk Canadian accent. So it's not like your typical, like, oh, yeah, sure, go down there to them there to city's den, huh? Like, that's not how he talks.
Roach Bait. So now everyone's in on the Jordan Peterson doing old-timey drugs bit. Roach Bait says, good old Gorilla Biscuits. Them was the days.
Bucko, when I first started smoking weed, we called it gauge, bucko. Still my favorite word that's ever been used for a drug. In the 1960s, they used to call weed gauge. Look it up.
All right, so we've got so Jordan Peterson now, and Not the Bee. This is where Not the Bee kind of leans into their boomerness. When Jordan Peterson makes one of these 13-minute videos going after Twitter again, they're like, oh, yeah, go off, King. This guy teaches people how to slay dragons. They said that. It said, this guy teaches
Bucko,
people.
I'd like to get mad at you, but I put an extra drop of milk of the poppy in my coffee, Bucko.
Jordan Peterson is taking milk of the poppy. Oh, my God, it's not even from this millennium, Jordan. Oh, my God. By the way, thank you to Daniel for $10 on PayPal. So we have... what is it? We're at 11. So Chops did a challenge for the audience today. He said if 20 people throw in $10, whether it's Super Chats or PayPal, he will throw in 100. We're at 11 at the moment, and we are, I believe, 195 away from our goal today. JLFC Fire MC says 1 hour to go. What? That sounds ominous. We've got 2 hours left in the show. Yeah.
This is a bottle of Gatorade, Bucko. I use it to chlorally hydrate.
Mick Marshall says, Quaaludes are wonderful, Bucko. Oh. Sam says, personally, I think everyone is mentally ill in their own way. All right, on that note, let's watch Jordan Peterson and see how far we get through. And you guys tell me, because I'll tell you, I put our last Jordan Peterson video up, and it got, like, it was more upvotes than downvotes.
Let me tell you something, Bucko. I'm not here to talk to you right now. I'm looking for the dip man so I can get wet.
Have you ever had Sherm? Like, what the fuck?
The best part about being intolerant to milk of the puppy is eventually you make your own jenkum, bucko.
I've been on an absolute crazy peyote kick. And I'm really feeling it.
I like how that implies there's not a crazy peyote kick. You could just be on a sane peyote kick.
That's true. Somebody does. I was taking.
Excuse me, bucko. I'm a little hungry. You got any Zandy bars?
Yes, my bed is made because I've been taking speed that the army wives used to take.
Holy shit, I love this acid. I think I'll write a book about lobsters, bucko.
Sir K says, I'm taking peyote with a coyote. Mine veers into like Jesse Ventura a little bit.
Dude, we're gonna be like just completely like it'll be a fucking Scotsman and fucking Asian voice before this is done. Watch.
At 10 o'clock it'll be, hey guys, do your Jordan Peterson. All right, well, you see it, right? You get kicked over Twitter, all right, and then you go Peterson, and, you go golfing and all that.
Hey, McPeterson, get off of McKetamine.
Get off of my benzos, Peterson. Yeah, wee shite.
Let me tell you a little bit about DMT, bucko.
All right. This is Jordan Peterson, 13-minute rant on Twitter. People on the right think, yeah, he's fucking taking him down. I watch Jordan Peterson and I go, have a beer and calm the fuck down, brother. Here we go. You guys judge for
Hello,
yourselves.
everyone. Before diving into this topic, I've got to clarify something.
I love that the guy who went on
not on screen. Yeah, it is. Never mind.
Yeah, it went into a coma from benzos, has a video titled Why Twitter is Insane. You know, I'm not trying to call Jordan Peterson mentally ill, but I will say that sometimes we need to look in the mirror.
Was that you? What was that weird isolated guitar string?
I think that was you. It was not.
I think my computer's haunted. Bucko, I got to tell you, this DMT is really working.
My computer's on ayahuasca.
Okay, dude, check it out. It was me. I Googled just nicknames for drugs, right? Yeah. And I didn't even pay attention to the website I clicked on, but I'm on addictioncenter.com drug/street names. Oh. And there was an automated fucking support bubble that popped up. That's what that noise was. And it says, hi, welcome to the Legacy Healing Center. Are you struggling with addiction? Is that why you're here to clarify different drugs names?
You should write back. No, I'm doing a streaming show right now, and we're making fun of drug addicts.
No, I texted them back in the bubble. I'm high.
All right, Jordan Peterson. Why Twitter is insane. You tell him, Jordan. It's always the other people.
I am reading some of the pieces that I'm producing, and that means that these are things that I wrote. The reason I'm doing that rather than speaking extemporaneously is because
I always sound fucking insane and I go off and I start yelling about some 30-year-old actress's tits.
Yeah. My favorite song is about my drugs. It's called Whoa Whoa Black Beauties. Wham-ba-lam.
I love how Jordan Peterson's like, I decided to do this video. Like he's doing this on a lark, yet it's professionally shot with multiple cameras.
He literally has a camera crew there. Like, yeah. Hi, Bucko. I planned to do this video 2 weeks ago.
Although, in fairness, Jordan Peterson is insane enough to go, I just want a camera crew in the house eating my food until I'm ready to do something.
Probably has them all automated. They're probably just cameras that are there. He probably just hits a remote. Yeah. I want to be able to vlog from any room, Bucko. Sometimes the benzos make me sleepy.
Oh, my God. I figured it out. Jordan Peterson's probably in his 50s right now. He's on a 15-year journey to become Doc Brown.
Jump in gigawatts, Marty. Give me these benzos.
He's gonna get there. You watch.
Myself to the limits
Alan
of my
Thicke with more forehead wrinkles.
Conceptual ability, then I have to choose my words with the undue care that writing allows. And
hey, Dr. Autism, look at the camera and stop fidgeting with your fingers.
I suppose that has the disadvantage that's associated with reading something rather than speaking off the cuff.
I hate how he sounds smart even when he's fucking nuts.
I think that's what tricks people, and that's why, like, the comment section when I post a Jordan Peterson video is like, Jordan Peterson's good, man. He's cool. I think he's really smart to dumb people. And it's like you said, he has that tone and that way of speaking that sounds like almost William F. Buckley had the same thing. People thought William F. Buckley was like one of the smartest guys. It's like, no, he just sounded like a cunt.
Like, if you sound like a cunt, people will think you're smart. So right. People think you're so smart.
May I help people? I'm just a cunt. Like, I just straight up.
advantage
I think cunt is the only drug I don't do, bucko.
of precision and
Maybe I
care.
would do better if I had some wet ass pussy.
So today I'm going to talk. I'm going to read a piece that I entitled "Why Twitter is Insane."
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? He's gonna read it. Oh my god.
Hey, Corey, they're insane.
The dude wrote a fucking book report that he brought a camera crew in to fucking talk about, where all he had to do was just delete a tweet that nobody gives a fuck about. You're right,
Dude.
Twitter's insane here.
Yeah, you know what?
This is the thing that I get so mad about, because people will come at me all the time about like Facebook or Twitter, like because like Facebook will flag something in the algorithm, like, hey, we think you should delete this. I'm like, all right, I deleted it. And people are like, no, you're a libertarian, you should be this and that. It's like, do you understand you waive all those rights when you click accept terms of service?
Right, yeah. I mean,
Like, you're on their platform, they tell you what the rules are. It's that fucking Crowder shit, man. I get so like, it's so dishonest and upsetting when to see Jordan Peterson, because really he's behaving like Crowder right now, right?
Yes.
Like, rather than owning up the fact that he broke the rules on a platform where he accepted the rules. I don't give a shit what you think about the rules. You're on Twitter, you accepted the rules, you broke them, and now that means Twitter's insane, right? Well,
Right.
if it's that insane, don't fucking, like, God knows there's fucking how many other social media platforms out there. Why are you bitching about something that you signed a TOS for? I never understood that shit.
yeah, you're right. You took the words out of my mouth with Crowder. I mean, he knows the rules, he signed up for them, and then when he purposely breaks them to get attention, and then he
He's
gets
the
banned,
victim.
he goes, I'm going to sue him. Sue him for what? You signed a fucking piece of paper. They did exactly what they told you they would do, and you agreed to it. All right, so Jordan Peterson wants to tell all of us in 13 minutes why Twitter is insane by reading something he scribbled in his bed obsessively. This is off to a hot start.
Jumping gigawatts, Marty. You ever smoke plutonium? Ah!
Telling you, he's going to be Doc Brown.
It is often said that social media is driving us out of our minds.
You tell him it's not true, Jordan. You tell him it's not true.
Why? Like, okay, but check this out.
Hey, Corey, before you do, can we just admit right now, this is dripping with self-awareness, but he has no idea?
I think he has a great idea. I think this is very self-aware.
All right, so go ahead.
Why would you fucking like do, okay, you're doing like a live blog, because it already looks like a mockumentary, like fucking in the smush room of Jersey Shore entry, right?
Yes.
So like, why would, that's what he's doing. He's literally in his own smush room, fucking like, all right, Bucko, let me tell you why Grandpa Juicehead and Grandpa Gorilla made me so mad on Twitter, Bucko.
I have to tell you though, I just didn't have that on my steel toe bingo card for today, a Jersey Shore smush room reference.
Well, here you go. Gotta get that one in. But the like, so he's doing this like video entry, but then he's gonna be like, here, I'm gonna read this thing I wrote. But then they go back to him just presenting it. Don't tell us you wrote the fucking thing. You're sitting here telling us.
Right.
Let us watch the fucking video, you cunt.
Put it on a teleprompter and do it like it's a video. Don't be like,
And also every time I see a dude in a lime green anything, I just want to slap the shit out of him.
I think this would be a lot more honest of him if he just pulled out the series of cocktail napkins and wrinkled sketch paper that he wrote this on and just read them off of it.
Or if he just had a fucking like trapper keeper and he's just reading out of a fucking notebook. Ian.
It's got a no fear sticker and skull and crossbones on the front.
Back when kids were allowed to be kids, Bucko.
Individually,
Do you guys remember Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Let me tell you something about slap bracelets. You can also boil your heroin on them, Bucko. It's metal.
I want to show you guys the new Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper. Fucking short. All right. I'm sorry.
I also have this chain that I call my N Frank Trapper Keeper, but that's a different product, Bucko.
We're 50 seconds in. We're not going to make it through this. We're going to get a couple minutes in and probably cut old Jordan off here.
and collectively. Is this true? And if so, how and why? The eminent social psychologist Jonathan Haidt recently wrote a hard-hitting article showing that use of certain forms of...
You just had to delete a fucking tweet! Why are you doing this?
No, you missed the other part, right?
Yeah.
Why is there a jump cut to a second fucking camera angle?
But like...
Why is this a 3-camera fucking shoot over deleting a tweet?
The exalted
He probably spent $5,000 on this.
Yes. The exalted brain doctor, Jonathan Haidt. He has nothing to do with what happened to you, fuckhead. Just calm down.
Let me tell you a little bit about Jonathan Swift.
Social media, particularly by girls just entering adolescence.
Okay, well, that applies to you. God damn it, Jordan.
Was directly and causally associated with higher rates of depression and depression-related symptoms.
Like benzo use and medically induced comas? Perchance?
We're not talking about that right now, Bucko.
Sorry. Now look at my Trapper Keeper.
Since the early to mid 2010s.
You ever heard
I
this
had been
Ace of
thinking-
Base track?
This is going to end with us him showing us his baseball card collection. Have you ever seen a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card?
Along broadly similar lines, particularly with regard to Twitter and how its incentives are structured compared to those that characterize healthy human interactions. The extent
Like speaking into 3 cameras at once while you read your scribbles on the internet.
Or having your fun with H. You know, smack, dope, China White, Bucko. Seriously, I need some heroin.
of its harmful pathology has recently been brought home to me as a consequence of those deliberations. A thought experiment. Imagine, for example, that you learned a particular pattern of communication in your family, one that, when used on others, triggered a passive or even outright aggressive resistance. By definition, the unusual method of
You called a he a her, okay? And you called her... Fucking A, Jordan. Jesus Christ, man. You're digging so deep. And I love how he's talking about like how bad these behaviors...
The principle, Bucko.
Yeah, he's talking about how bad these behaviors are and how bad they are for your brain. And like I said, it's accidentally, secretly self-aware. Jordan, these are the things you do all the time, brother.
So let me ask you this. How bad behaviorally is it to have no self-awareness at all?
You're watching it.
That's what, but I'm just saying, like, I want to ask him that as a medical professional.
Oh, that would be funny. He's like, oh, yeah, it's terrible to not have self-awareness. You see, because if you don't know who you are and where your shortcomings may lie, you could fall into things like drug addiction and perhaps go into some kind of a mental breakdown state. It's like, Jordan Peterson's the kind of guy you watch him
That's
rant.
right, Jordan. You sure could.
But he's like the kind of guy where you watch him rant and you're like, you just think to yourself, any second now he's going to go, oh, and then just shut off the screen. Jordan Peterson's public career is going to end with him going off on one of these rants.
that WHO operative that couldn't say Taiwan was a country. Oh, Bucko, I'm getting disconnected.
No. It's going to be funnier than that. He's going to realize that he's been talking about himself the entire time and then just shut off his internet mid-speech.
I don't think so. I think he's going to go halfway through and be like, I feel like you're not actually listening to me, Buckos, and then just cut it.
Then just go, whoop.
of communication you had been taught, one that did not generalize well to the broader social environment, would characterize you, at least as far as society is concerned, as insane. Now, let's ask.
He's defending himself from an accusation of insanity before. Dude, if you're in a room by yourself arguing why you're not insane, there is a better than average chance you're insane.
How does Twitter, like that family, differ from the real world in how it requires us to communicate with each other?
Well, because one's a social media platform and the other's a fucking family, you quack.
Yeah. One's a social media platform that you shouldn't be taking this seriously.
How does it make us, too, insane? The first way is in the manner in which it bypasses the traditional means for measuring the quality of communication. In the real world, high-volume communication is extremely costly, requiring both hard-to-establish credibility. Why otherwise?
I think, you know what? I'm going to make an executive decision. I think we've pretty much, his opening statement said it all. I don't think we need to dive deeper. Jordan,
I don't know, man. I think, well, whatever.
He goes
you're,
on.
You're the king. I just like, I kind of want it. Like, I'll go back and watch it in my own time because I just
worry he's going to be really
one of those
boring.
like train wrecks where it's like, how bad does this get?
I can give him until the 4-minute mark, but I feel like he's just going to start droning on. But
that in this context specifically is even funnier because it's a 3-camera shoot on why Twitter's insane.
Right, on why they're the problem and he's totally normal.
And he literally just like misconstrued a family as a social media platform.
Would
Like,
large numbers
that's
of people
Pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
want to read or listen to you, and access to the wealth necessary for such communication, either directly through personal accumulation or by proxy, such as a contractual arrangement with a publishing house. Twitter casts these limitations asunder. The consequence of this demolition of potentially vital regulation is multiplied by the fact that Twitter...
Hold on a minute.
Wait.
I think we just stumbled on the same thing. Is Jordan Peterson actually quasi-endorsing censorship?
Yeah, I was just going to say, is he advocating for authoritarianism right now?
This is why I'm so jaded on right versus left. They're all full of shit. This guy is right now going, you know what, it was better when you couldn't just openly share your opinions with each other. We need to have publishing houses and gatekeepers so we know whose opinions are valid and whose should be allowed and whose shouldn't. It's like, oh, you know what, you're right. We should have kept going with this. You're right, Jordan. Twitter's insane. Not the guy saying we should go back to when people needed to give you all of their money and protection.
Let me tell you where everything went wrong, bucko. You see, medical professionals stopped using leeches, bucko.
You know what his problem is, and we've kind of said a variation of this already, but he is being burned now by the same thing that made him famous, and so it looks insincere.
But I like, and here, like in a complete effort to be transparent and consistent, right? I actually like Jordan Peterson. I fucking hate this. There is nothing, and you've heard me rant and rave about it with the OnlyFans girls. Like, there's nothing I fucking hate more than somebody angry and like lobbying against the thing they rode to fame.
Right. And I've been a Jordan Peterson fan, but now as a consumer of so much content, I've watched his slide into insanity, and I'm like, I jumped off the train a while ago. Where I'm
honestly,
like,
I think like, I don't know if you ever read his book, but I think like you get past that one book he wrote, the 12 whatever
12
for life,
steps, yeah,
and that like to me in retrospect, I feel like that's all of the Jordan Peterson I ever needed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of these like pious fucking psychology doctors, they only have like one good piece of work in them. And I feel like after that book, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Twitter provides universal access to each of its users' hard-won personal networks. The second way...
So stop. Are you...
He's lamenting that. Right.
Does Jordan Peterson know that there's this whole other part called the fucking internet?
Yes.
Like, you're talking about Twitter, right? Which isn't even in the top 5 for social media platforms.
Right, because it happened to him.
YouTube is big. Like, he is on a Jesus fucking Christ. He is on a bigger social media platform where he is allowed to say what he is saying. Mad and advocating that we get more authoritarian. Oh God, it's just,
I mean, you could argue right now he's on the biggest media platform there is. YouTube's bigger than any television channel, bigger than probably any streaming service.
YouTube by the numbers is the second biggest platform in the world.
What's number one?
Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Is how anyone, regardless of competence or social status, can comment to anyone else's entire network of followers merely by commenting on something the latter posted. That same commenter, therefore, can access all those who have chosen to follow not them, but the target of their, say, insult and derision without having demonstrated.
This is 13 and a half minutes of Jordan Peterson going,
Yeah, I regret sticking up for this.
This is 13 and a half minutes of Jordan Peterson going, Twitter was mean to me and didn't like my tweet. That's what this is. And then
Twitter is not even, so I just looked it up. Twitter's not even in the top 10.
Yeah, it's down there pretty far, especially when you count all those foreign ones.
Yeah, Twitter's at 15. So the top 5, right? Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, and WeChat, I guess.
WeChat. Is that China?
I think that's okay. That's one of the other ones that we don't have. But then you got TikTok, you've got something called Sino Weibo, you've got QQ, Telegram, Snapchat, something called Kai Show, you got Qzone, and then you have Twitter.
Yeah,
And
so
Twitter,
it's
by the
down
way,
there.
is 436 million users. Right underneath it is Reddit with 430. Like Twitter's barely bigger than Reddit, guys.
Okay, yeah, so it's essentially, I mean, it's...
And to put it in terms, it's barely bigger than Skype.